Junos Operating System Overview. The Junos operating system is based on the mature, reliable, and open-source FreeBSD operating system. FreeBSD is a Unix-based operating system, and the FreeBSD kernel on which it's based provides many of the vital functions of the operating system, including access to underlying hardware resources. Juniper heavily modified the FreeBSD kernel, optimizing it for network operating system purposes and for their particular hardware platforms. One of the impressive things about the Junos operating system is that although there may be some minor differences depending on the type of device, the thing is that it's all based on the single operating system code base, and that carries with it many advantages. So what you should take away from that is this. You should know that the Junos operating system integrates with multiple platforms across the Juniper sphere, from the smallest to the largest platform. Operating system install packages are available from the web at www.juniper.net. The install packages are used to either upgrade or downgrade from one OS release to another. The install package, like any other operating system install, fully reinstalls all of the operating system software. It reconstructs the file system, and it retains the configuration files. However, you should be cautious here because when you're upgrading or downgrading, it carries with it the possibility of erasing log files, for example. Being a modular operating system, each module or daemon, in Unix terms, runs in its separate protected memory space. So, for example, the routing protocol daemon and the SNMP daemon run in separate protected memory spaces. So, what does this mean? It means that each process is isolated. So if there's a minor problem with one processor module, it doesn't bring down the entire system. Junos operating system features. Well, as you'd expect from any world-class routing, switching, or gateway platform, it supports a full complement of routing protocols, including Open Shortest Path First, Border Gateway Protocol, and Routing Internet Protocol, for example. You've already seen that the software is a modular design and some of its inherent advantages. Some of the security processes that the Junos operating system supports includes stateful firewall, IP security, and although network address translation, or NAT, wasn't specifically designed as a security process, it does disguise a host's actual source address and port. So I'll mention that here as well. Junos also offers an adaptable and flexible routing policy language. So for example, you can dynamically adjust Open Shortest Path First interface metrics based on bandwidth or control route preferences. Junos operating system follows industry standards. For example, things like routing, multi-protocol label switching. Industry standards as would be expected of a world-class platform like Junos. Junos also provides, as you would expect, a very high level of performance. And I'd like to specifically mention reliability because that's part of the reason why Juniper chose the FreeBSD kernel in the first place, due to its impeccable reliability record. That and the fact that the Juniper engineers took that FreeBSD kernel and built it for their own network operating system and optimized it for their own hardware platforms. It's a very reliable platform indeed. Now let's take a moment and have a look at the architecture of the Junos operating system. Within the Juniper hardware systems, the software that comprises the Junos operating system platform is totally independent. So what that means is that it can run the same way across virtually the entire portfolio of products. Junos also supports user processes, and as we briefly touched on, the daemons themselves, or processes, run in protected memory space, including the important processes like routing protocols, interface control, and management tasks. Junos provides a command line interface, or CLI, to communicate with and manage the device. This is a text-based command line interface like the bash prompt or command prompt in Windows, and it gives you all the tools required to configure, troubleshoot, and monitor the device. There are two supported command modes to the CLI. In operational mode, you enter commands to control or manage the CLI environment, troubleshoot or monitor network connectivity, with familiar commands like ping, traceroute, for example. And it's also in this mode that you initiate the configuration mode. In configuration mode, you actually change the configuration of the Junos operating system. So, for example, here you would commonly use commands like set, show, replace, rename. So, in this video, you saw an overview of the Junos operating system.